Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video, we are officially counting down the end of this homeschool year. We just passed the fourth quarter mark, so I separate my homeschool into 4 quarters, and we just passed the bridge this week that we are now officially in our fourth quarter and we have 10 weeks left of school. So I'm celebrating because I'm really excited. We have pushed really hard this year. I feel like I can see that finish line. And so what I'm doing right now is I am like going through all of our main core stuff. Like, are we on track to finish it in the fourth quarter? You know, is there anything I need to like add in, supplement, change? And so that is what we're talking about in today's video. Those of you that are not aware, but you should be by now if you watch my channel, I use an online planner from Homeschool Planet. It is my favorite thing I've ever invested in and used in my homeschool. I talk about it all the time, but really in like these types of moments, because I have like our entire year planned out, all of our curriculum input, this is what I use to see like, are we on track? And so, all right, so I'm in my planner. Like I said, I've already set it up for the year. And so all I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, like this is up to date. Like I'm looking at today and like, yes, those are the lessons we're completing. Those are the lessons that are scheduled. Everything is up to date as far as that. So I'm going to scroll through the next 10 weeks and I'm going to see like, are we on track to finish? Let's go through here. So right now, like what we have, like our major stuff, we obviously have Sax and Math. For both my daughters. We have Apologia's Earth Science that they're doing together. We have IEW Structure and Style that they're both doing together. And they have handwriting that they both have. And that's really what is scheduled. My oldest daughter, she has broken off in language arts and she is using Moving Beyond the Page, their 5th grade level, which I'm going to talk about more in a little bit too. She is working on a unit right now from them. So I'm kind of seeing where she's at. My middle daughter is using Beowulf Grammar. I don't have that scheduled just because she works a couple pages at a time. And then they both do use word roots, but that's not scheduled either. So those ones I'm not super concerned with. It's more those core subjects: math, science, handwriting, IEW writing. Oh, and history. We do have, where's my history on here? I didn't even see it. We are using Gather Rounds US History 2 as well. So I need to figure out where our history curriculum is because I don't know where it went on my schedule. Am I like crazy? Oh, I had it ending on February 29th. That wasn't good. So we were supposed to end it by March, and that definitely did not happen. So I'm just gonna add this back in quick. All right, so I don't even know how to, okay, I figured that out. Okay, so I added it back in. I didn't realize I had done that. Okay, so let's go back to our calendar. Now our history is there. Okay, so our main core subjects, like, are we on track? Are we gonna finish? What are we doing? So let's start scrolling through March. Okay, so I'm on the last week of March. It looks like we still are doing everything. So we're through March, so through the rest of this month, all curriculum still stands. Now we're getting into April. The 1st and 2nd week of April is when we will be finishing our Apologia Earth Science curriculum. So we will officially be done with our Apologia Earth Science curriculum on April 16th. We will also be finishing our history April 18th. So mid-April, we have our science and history ending, and our co-op classes are actually ending as well. Mid-April, our schedule is definitely going to open up a lot. As we move into April, my middle daughter also is finishing math. She finishes her math April 23rd. We are also going to be on our last week of IEWs, or close to last week. So we will actually be finishing our last IEW lesson the last week of April also. So April is definitely going to be the month where we finish a lot of our core curriculum. So exactly what I'm checking on, like, are we on track? My oldest daughter, her math, she does go a little bit more into mid-May, I think, which is completely fine. I had us scheduled going all the way till the end of the May for the school year. So she'll either just do that, or she, like we used to do last year, she can either double up on lessons, she could do an extra lesson on the weekend, because again, we're most of the time only doing 3 lessons a week, and so there's definitely room for her, especially with co-ops ending, to do another lesson in there. So what I'm looking at is like all that's done by way before the time frame I wanted that done. So that is super awesome. There's some handwriting that's left over. My middle daughter is way ahead in handwriting, so I don't even know if this is up to date anymore. But other than that, everything I wanted to finish, we're finishing. So math, apologies, earth science, US history 2, and IEW structure and style. So we will be finishing all those curriculums starting in April through like the first week of May. All of our main core curriculum is going to be done. What does that mean? So does that mean I'm just going to let those subjects go and our school days are just going to be quicker? No, not necessarily. That's not my style. Like if we're going to do school, we're going to fill our time and get school done. So let me backtrack a little bit. Something I was trying to do in this last quarter as preparing for next school year is I did purchase the last concept or quarter in Moving Beyond the Page for 5th grade because I wanted to see if it would work. But however, like in my mindset doing that, we're still doing all of our other curriculum. And so to bring in a curriculum that is language arts, science, and social studies when we're already doing language arts, science, and social studies, like it was just too much. And so unless I stopped like the IEW and the Apology of Science, we just didn't have time to do it all. So that was my bad. I really don't know what I was thinking, you know, just being overzealous and, you know. So my sixth grader, my oldest daughter who's in 5th grade going into 6th grade, she is working on a language arts unit from Moving on the Page from this 5th grade unit. She is working on the Wrinkle of Time language arts unit, and I believe that is scheduled to go throughout April 3rd. So she will be finishing that up April 3rd. I will probably have her move on to the next language arts unit. So she will probably do this language arts unit to finish out the year. So one more language arts unit. I did purchase, I think there's a last language arts unit, which is independent studies. There is a social studies on economics. And then there's 2 science units. So there's one on the human body and one on space. Now, because we've been doing Apologies Earth Science, I wasn't going to make her double up on lessons. Like we already are doing a lot of projects with science. Like I don't want to do another one. And we just did a pretty big unit study last school year on the human body, like a really in-depth one. And so the human body one, I was kind of like, eventually, yes, I want her at like an older level, an older age to re-go through a human body type study or unit. But I don't know year to year like if it's worth it. And then the space unit did look interesting, but there's a lot to it. And so I'm kind of at this point where it's like do I just be like, you know, we're not doing this. Like we're looking forward. We know what we're using for her 6th grade year. So let's just say bye to this stuff. Do I, because we're ending science in April, do I use this Moving Beyond the Page unit with both my daughters and do like a little mini unit on space? That's an option for sure. So that may be an option. We do have this state government and economics unit. I might do that same thing where we actually just do this together as like a unit study. That is normally what we do in like the end of our school year. Once we're finished up with a lot of the cores is where you'll see me adding in a lot of unit studies. So like that's kind of the way I'm looking at these is, well, let's just do them together. Let's finish out this school year. I do have to look at them though and kind of just see, you know, is that something I want them to both be doing? I have a couple other units that I purchased. Like I have the life skills unit from Gather Round that I've really been wanting to get to. We haven't had the time to do it. So that could be one, because basically we have like 6 solid weeks where like half of our curriculum is going to be finished. And so we will definitely have the time to dedicate to a couple unit studies. It's just kind of picking which ones and not overloading anybody, not going crazy at the end of the year. So I'm definitely going to be deciding on like some unit studies to be adding in, and I'll probably share those more once I do my March wrap up and April plans, because that's when everything's going to be ending. You know, we're going to see how everything goes. So that was just kind of an update. Like, I did not plan well. There was no way my oldest daughter was going to be able to do like dual courses. She was going to be able to do everything we're currently doing plus more. So the only extra thing she has taken on is a Moving Beyond the Page language arts unit that's independent, that she's doing so great in, and I'm just loving the unit. I do miss not teaching the units because in the 5th grade level, it is more independent. So I do read through it and go over it with her and look at her assignments, but it really is like on her to like understand the assignment and complete them. But the story A Wrinkle in Time is a science fiction, and so she's learning about science fiction elements, and as she's going through this unit, learning various language arts, grammar type things, she's also plotting out and planning to write her own science fiction story, which is really, really cool. I love it. I love the steps of planning it. So like last week she had 2 assignments where, well, she had 1 assignment where she had to write 2 story ideas, just 3 little blurbs for each story. So like, I don't know, like what is like the beginning, middle, and end? What is the beginning? So come up with 2 different story ideas. So she had to develop 2 different science fiction story ideas. And now this week she is developing one of her main characters, and she now needs to pick what story she's going to move forward with. So like every lesson she's kind of adding an element to her story to eventually formulate the entire story together. So I'm super excited. And then I'm also really excited to watch A Wrinkle in Time once she's finished reading the book and finished with this unit. So I'm very pleased with the curriculum. It's just, it's meant to be a full-blown curriculum, so it's really hard to do it amongst a bunch of other things the way that we're doing it right now. So that's kind of the update on all of those things. In between all of that though, so in the next 10 weeks, so from now, like mid-March to end of May, I have 3 vacations. I have one that me and my middle daughter are going on. We're going to Chicago to visit Nikki. And then right after that, we are taking a surprise family trip to Disney. And then right after that, I have a work trip. So I'm traveling for work. That one's just on my own. So those 3 trips will still happen technically as we're still in our school year. So again, adjusting for that, planning for all those. And then the second week in June, we're going on a big summer trip to Washington. We have a lake house for a week. We have some family out there that we're just gonna hang out for a week. And I've never been to Washington State. And so I'm really excited. My kids' cousins, their closest age cousins, and my husband's cousin, but she's like one of my best friends. That's how I met my husband, was through her. 16, 15, I don't even know, 16, 17 years ago. So anyways, we have kids around the same age. And so our kids are cousins, and they're going to be staying at the lake house with us, and we're super excited. So anyway, so I'm saying all that because even though like school-wise is slowing down, summer travel, all those activities are starting to speed up. And so I don't want to over plan, over commit to curriculums, trying new curriculums. Like, we're solid for what's working next year. We're just going to ease the rest of this year. We're going to really just like have fun with everything. Oh, something I did want to say, as far as, because remember how I was saying we're going to be ending Apology of Science? I do want to maybe continue some sort of science. So right now in our earth science, one of our like last lessons, we're learning about minerals, and we started talking about elements in the periodic table of elements. And I do have Apologia's chemistry book, and so we may dabble in that a little bit. I don't know. My kids are like really into elements. Like, once we started talking about it, they just thought it was really cool. So we'll see. I do want them to do kind of a project. We haven't really done too many like research type projects this year like we did last year. They are doing one right now for science. They're doing a research presentation project on minerals, and so that is kind of one, but I may just have each of them pick anything they want, and they have to make some sort of presentation paper about it to kind of wrap up something in their school year, and so we may do that. We have been heavily taking advantage of OutSchool courses because, like I think I mentioned in my last month update video, like scheduling wise with all the co-op activities that are happening right now, with travel, we can't commit to weekly sports right now. Like, we would be missing so many classes that I think we would be attending less than more classes, if that makes sense. So it's just not in our plans right now. Maybe after summer vacations we'll get back into them. So we've been using OutSchool for things like gymnastics, cooking classes, book clubs, computer classes, you know, various things. So I may look at a couple more of those. My oldest daughter, I don't know if I've shared this. I've shared that she's very like goal oriented, and she has a very like straightforward plan for the future. She wants to go into the medical field, and she's always wanted to go into the medical field. Like, ever since I can remember, that's all this girl's wanted to do. And so there is a couple OutSchool classes where you get more introduced like to legit like medical terminology, different careers within the medical industry. It's very easy to say I want to be a nurse, but like there's so many different types of nurses out there, and like different pathways, or like a nurse practitioner or a PA, a physician's assistant, or you know, even different kinds of doctors. Like, well, this doctor does this and this doctor does that. And so there was a few OutSchool classes I saw that like go into that. Like, you're learning from someone who's in the medical industry, and they really explain to you like the pros and cons and the schooling that's required for all of that. And so I think that would be fun for her to do. I think that's like my idea for the end of our school year, is just let's have some fun in like exploring like our interest. Let's get some unit studies done, things like that. I'm looking around because I'm like, am I missing anything? Normally like I have books laying around that spark my memory, but really that's it. Like, I'm feeling really great, like that all that core stuff is good. I'm the type of person, especially like with math, like I want it done in the same school year. If it doesn't get done, like I'm not gonna have a heart attack, but I just like to say like this year's done, this is closed, we feel accomplished, and we can break for a long break and then pick back up next school year in brand new stuff. That's just how I like to look at core subjects. And so I feel really great that even though, you know, we haven't always been 100% on track with schooling, you know, we've had a lot of sick days, we've had a lot of days we just take off because the kids have events with their co-op, and I'd rather them go on a field trip than sit and do schoolwork. And so I'm glad it all kind of eventually figured itself out. And if this is someone who you like have watched me and you're like, how do you complete everything only 3 days a week? Well, we did it, and we did it early. I planned to school from July till end of May, like beginning of June. Yet here we are finishing most of our core stuff in mid-April. So it's definitely possible because I've done it year after year. Yeah, so I am going to wrap up this video. Probably one of my next videos you're going to see, because I want to take like a mental break of homeschool stuff. It is hard to like constantly be thinking about homeschool stuff and sharing homeschool stuff and researching homeschool stuff. So one of my next videos, I'm going to do kind of like a time lapse. I'm going to plan out my entire homeschool year on Homeschool Planet. I did a video like a week or two ago where I showed you like how I set it up, but I'm actually going to show you guys how long it takes me to set up every curriculum for all 3 of my kids. And obviously the video won't be like the real time, I'll speed it up, but so you can get an understanding. Like, I probably will spend a good 3 to 4 hours getting it established, but doing that saves me so much time the rest of my school year, and really gets it out of my mind. Like, I don't need to think about anything homeschool over summer. And so that video is coming. I have still a lot of curriculum review videos to get out. So anything specific you want to see, leave that down below in the comments. I did bring back my book related videos to this channel. I did have a separate channel for a little while, but it's just too hard to manage multiple channels. And so those videos will be sparingly here and there, at least one book related video a month. If you don't care about what books I read, you don't like the books I read, you just don't watch those videos. I still have just as much homeschool content coming out. Those are just, that's like, Nikki always tells me, that's like what fills my cup. I love reading books. I love talking about books, probably more at this point than homeschool stuff, just because I've been talking about homeschool stuff for so long. But yeah, those are just something for like a specific crowd. If you like them, cool. If not, just skip on over them. Other last update, the podcast Two Homeschool Moms with me and Nikki. We are, as of today, we have 6 more episodes coming out. I don't know when I'm posting this video, so it may be only like 5 more episodes, because we're taking a break on that as well. We're gonna wrap up our first season. I think we're gonna wrap up with 22 episodes, I think, which will be our final episode. I don't know, I could be counting that wrong. And we're gonna take the break over summer because we're hoping a lot of our listeners are taking some time off too, to just decompress from homeschool. We both start our homeschool years back in July, and so we will be planning to start up with content and the second season in July, and start again with the podcast episodes. So make sure you're subscribed over there. Weekly, every Monday we have a new episode. We have some great episodes coming up to wrap up the season, and then we have lots of exciting things that will be coming for season 2. So that's it. That's my update. 10 more weeks of our homeschool or less, give or take. Lots of vacations coming up. I do plan on vlogging all my trips, I think. So that will be fun. And I am trying to vlog more. Just bear with me. I'm not great at it. I will be like halfway through my day and I'm like, oh, I should have picked up the camera, but here we are. So trying to do more vlogs, more behind the scenes stuff. But I appreciate you all being here. Have a great day, guys. Bye.